There's so much noise when it comes to LinkedIn on what you should be doing to get that level of success and attract those opportunities that come with using LinkedIn. And a lot of the advice that I'm seeing, I actually disagree with. And on today's video, I'm going to share with you what I think you need to be doing and what you should not be doing based on this advice. My name is Wally McCarthy, and I'm a LinkedIn coach. I help my clients achieve success on the LinkedIn platform so they can seize the opportunities that come with using LinkedIn. The one piece of advice that really does stand out is that you need to post every day to have a level of success on LinkedIn. And this is completely not true. What actually happens here is that when someone starts out on LinkedIn, and I've seen it myself with people I've helped, that they have this mindset and they've heard people say that they need to post daily. But when people do this, they don't have a plan in place. So what they do is they post for 5 days in a row, and then they realize that they don't have content in reserve. They don't have a plan. And everything just becomes too much for them. They cannot control LinkedIn. They cannot create content because they have everyday lives. If they had planned their content in advance, they would have realized that creating content, especially high quality content that resonates with your audience, takes time. So you need to plan your content in advance. And this is why I always say to people, you should just start off creating content once a week and do it for a length of time that you are used to creating content, that you have enough content and content ideas to progress to maybe to 2 times a week. But do plan ahead, because the people that you're seeing creating content out of nowhere for a number of days, they don't have a plan and they will disappear from the platform. So you don't need to post every day to have success. If you can post once a week and that content is of high quality, it will get you a lot of engagement. And the good thing about LinkedIn content is that it compounds. So if you post a piece of content today, you might see a few level of engagement on high impressions. But if you come back to that piece of content after a few days, that content's impressions will increase dramatically, and so will the engagement. So focus in on what works for you and plan your content in advance. The other piece of advice is coming across on that of commenting. So it's really important that you have a commenting strategy when it comes to LinkedIn. But some people are saying that you need to comment for around 2 hours a day. And I don't know anybody that has 2 hours to spend on LinkedIn with everything else going on. And you do not need to spend 2 hours a day commenting on the platform. But what you need to do is you need to show up on LinkedIn with purpose. And what I mean by that is, again, having a plan, but also focusing in on the key accounts and the key pieces of content that you wish to engage in. So you will obviously have your notifications on. And if anybody doesn't know what those notifications are, is you may have particular accounts that are of interest to you. So you can go to their account and you can click on the bell icon on their profile. And as a result, you will be notified every time they publish a piece of content. So when you go on to LinkedIn, you'll be notified straight away of that individual's latest content. And therefore, you can comment straight away. So it really does help you engage a lot quicker. The other way of improving the length of time and your time management when it comes to commenting on LinkedIn is searching for the right comment or content related to your niche. rather than waiting on your feed to produce content for you, because that is going to be a time consuming task. So turn on those notifications and start searching for the right content for you to engage in. The next piece of advice is going to be around the algorithm, that the algorithm is against you. That is not necessarily true. It can be quite challenging when you are obviously posting content, but for your LinkedIn feed, it is not against you. If anything, it's the individual that isn't doing enough to create the right feed. And what I mean by that is LinkedIn, you need to train it. It needs to get an understanding of what you're interested in, what type of content you want to see, and what would really keep you on the platform for as long as possible, because that's what LinkedIn wants users to do. So, how do you go about having that feed? Well, it's not just scrolling content. You need to engage in content. So start commenting and liking. Predominantly comment on content, because then that shows or tells the algorithm that you have a real keen interest in that subject matter. Start searching within LinkedIn. So that's telling the algorithm and telling LinkedIn that you have another interest in certain topics or maybe individuals. And over time, your LinkedIn feed will improve. But if you do not do any of those actions, your LinkedIn feed will remain the same. LinkedIn wants to give you that feed that is of interest, but it cannot do it unless you help the algorithm understand what your interests are. So they're the kind of key pieces of advice that I disagree with when it comes to LinkedIn right now, about posting every day, that you need to comment for 2 hours, that it's the algorithm's fault. That is not good advice, and advice you should not be adhering to. So instead, follow the process and the tips that I've shared in today's video. And if you want to learn more about LinkedIn, uh, follow me on the platform as I share daily LinkedIn tips and insights so that you can get the most out of LinkedIn and start seizing those opportunities that come with using the platform.